the Tigers, and they only won one game in each of the 4 series. The Tigers won all 4 series between these two teams last year, and one through line in the series between the Royals and Tigers last season. A ton of close games. In fact, 10 of the last 11 games between these two teams have been decided by 2 runs or fewer. And with 2 all-star southpaws on the mound tonight, well, maybe it wouldn't be unfair to expect a low-scoring environment again. It's Cole Reagans on the mound for the Royals, but first, in the top of the first inning, it's 32-year-old lefty Framber Valdez, his first season as a member of the Tigers after 8 years as a member of the Houston Astros. The Tigers have just taken the field. They're wearing their home white jerseys, white tops, white bottoms, navy stripe down the side of each leg, navy Old English D on the upper left side of the chest, navy numbers on the back with a block capital letter nameplate on the back of the jersey. And Valdez on the mound, like the rest of the Tigers, is wearing the all-navy caps with the white English capital D logo on the front panel. The Royals tonight are in their road gray jerseys, gray tops, gray bottoms, thick royal blue stripe down the side of each leg, Kansas City in block royal blue letters in an arc across the chest with royal blue numbers on the lower left side of the jersey and on the back. For Michael Garcia, who's just about set to lead off, he wears number 11 with the nameplate in capital letters in an arc across the backs of his shoulders. When the Royals take the field, royal blue caps with the white button and the interlocking white KC logo on the front panel of the cap. Valdez just threw his final warm-up toss. This year, a .476 ERA for him in his 3 starts. He has struck out 12. He's walked 5. Opponents are hitting .278 against him. And last time out against the Twins, he had one of the worst starts of his career. He gave up 8 runs. That tied a career high for most runs allowed in a game. He gave up 8 runs on 10 hits in 5 innings against the Twins on the road. Michael Garcia's got an even stance from the right side. Framber Valdez delivers. First pitch of the ball game is popped up foul, first base side out of play, and it's 0-1. Now the Royals have struggled against Valdez each of the last couple of years, which is not uncommon given how good Valdez is overall against any team. He's into his windup and he delivers. Curveball loops over the outside edge, a called strike, and it's 0-2. Last year, the Royals faced Framber Valdez twice, and both times he completed 8 innings. From the very edge of the third base side of the rubber, he delivers. And it's a sinker inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Michael Garcia. He has reached base safely in 15 of the 16 games the Royals have played this year. The 1-2. Curveball down and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That includes Sunday, even though he did not have a hit. Garcia did draw a walk. He was 0 for 4 with a walk on Sunday. Here comes the 2-2. Breaking ball chopped down the third base line. Kevin McGonigal charges, fields in fair territory, then loses the ball out of his bare right hand. Garcia is safe at first without a throw. It seemed like the rookie Kevin McGonigal charged in, and as he got to the baseball, thought better of it and was trying to let it go foul, but he had already put his glove on it, and so it was a fair ball, even though McGonigal himself was standing in foul territory. And then he lost that on the transfer, trying to get rid of it quickly. He's charged with an error. The Royals have the leadoff man on top of the first inning. Valdez delivers, and Witt chops it high, 1 bouncer toward third. McGonigal fields over to second, 1 relay to first, just barely in time for a double play. And so right after committing an error, the third baseman Kevin McGonigal gets another chance, and he starts a double play that goes around the horn. So 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Just underway in Detroit, scoreless game. And Lane Thomas steps to the plate. He's batting 3rd tonight. Vinny Pasquantino's moved down to bat 5th against a lefty. Here's the pitch. Inside, and that's ball 1. Now, Thomas this season is just 3 for 23 and includes a double. He has drawn 5 walks, though he's also struck out 7 times. Valdez kicks and fires. Fastball lifted deep right center field. Matt Vierling's over into the gap from center. He makes the catch, and that ends the inning. So ultimately, the Royals get the leadoff man on with the help of an error, but Framber Valdez finds up macing the minimum. He induces a bottom of the first, and the pitch. Fastball down and in, ball one. Well, Reagan's in his start against the Guardians struck out each of the first two batters he faced, and he looked awesome. It was a real shame it ended the way it did. He delivers. Torres jumps back out of the way of a heater. 2 balls, no strikes. So Cole Reagan's those first two batters in Cleveland, he was looking like 2024 Cole Reagan's. And he felt that too. Overhead windup, right leg kick, the pitch. There's a changeup just a little bit inside. 3 balls, no strikes on Gleyber Torres. He's the DH for the Tigers, and he walks just about as often as anyone. He's already got 12 walks this season. Had 85 last year. The pitch. Over the outer edge, a called strike, and it's 3-1. Reagan's might have taken a little bit off that fastball. 93 miles an hour. And his first strike of the night. Here's the pitch. Fastball hit in the air deep to center field. Lane Thomas sprints back just shy of the warning track. He settles underneath it and makes the catch. And Torres is out, 1 away. Along with Lane Thomas in center field tonight, the Royals have Starling Marte in right field, his 4th start in right field this season. Isaac Collins gets the start in left field. Then on the infield, it's Michael Garcia at third, Bobby Witt Jr. at shortstop. Jonathan India plays second with Vinny Pasquantino at first. Salvador Perez does the catching. First pitch to the righty, Matt Vierling. Fastball over the low inside corner, called strike, and it's 0-1. And fastball was at 95 miles an hour from Cole Reagan's. He has thrown only fastballs so far. He delivers. There's a knuckle curve, bounced softly down the third base line. It's right over the bag of fair ball. Garcia gloves it. He didn't have a prayer of a play. An infield hit for Matt Vierling. He's on at first with 1 out. That brings up Kevin McGonigal, 21-year-old out of Alden, Pennsylvania. That's just outside of Philadelphia. He made his major league debut on opening day this year with the Tigers, and oh ho hum, had a 4-hit game. Highly touted prospect. Ranked the number 2 prospect in all of baseball entering this season. First pitch from Reagan's. Fastball outside, ball 1. McGonigal is a left-handed hitter. He's not a big guy, 5 feet 9 inches tall. He's listed at 187 pounds. Reagan's delivers. Slider down and away. 2 balls, no strikes on Kevin McGonigal. He's in the midst of a 3-game hitting streak. He's 5 for his last 10. That includes a double and his first career homer, which came here at Comerica Park on Sunday. Reagan's delivers. McGonigal swings and misses at a cutter, and the count's now 2-1. So far, McGonigal is hitting .322. He's got 19 hits already this season. That includes 6 doubles and the home run. The 2-1 pitch. Low and outside. 3 balls and a strike on McGonigal. He is best known prospect-wise for his command of the strike zone. Outstanding bat-to-ball skills. He does not swing and miss often. Early on, he has more walks than strikeouts. We're talking about a player that has not spent a second in even AAA. Tossed to first, and Vierling's back standing. Now, last year, McGonigal split his time between High A West Michigan and AA Erie, and then made the Tigers' opening day roster this year. The 3-1 pitch. Fastball letter high, called strike, and it's 3-2 on McGonigal. Scoreless game, bottom of the first. Runner on first with 1 out. The Royals infield plays McGonigal to pull. Reagan's delivers. And McGonigal hits it in the air down the left field line. Isaac Collins angles over a little bit toward the corner into foul territory. He reaches over the sidewall, crashes into the stands. Did he make the grab? He's got 1 leg on top of the railing. Half of his body is in one of the seats. Lane Thomas has run over to help him out. Bobby Witt Jr.'s run out as well. Kyle Turner, the head athletic trainer, and Matt Quatrero have immediately come out of the first base dugout to help Isaac Collins. who went head over heels over the shallow sidewall down the left field line. It's only about thigh high in that left field corner. Collins is up and okay. And now he's talking with KT. Well, Collins went over there and he had just crossed onto the warning track, but the fence juts out a little bit, so there's less room specifically at that angular area of the cutout of the sidewall and left. And Isaac Collins went into that sidewall more or less full force.
Yeah, he was surprised by it, obviously. Of course, years ago, the most memorable in recent times was Alex Gordon in Chicago doing a play like this. But yeah, you're right, mid-thigh high. He just went tumbling right over that railing.
He did not catch the baseball and wound up going off his glove and into one of the seats. He very nearly got a glove full of somebody's nachos over there. And kudos to the Tigers fans in that area who immediately went to help Isaac Collins back on his feet.
Clearly a guy who's just learned a lesson about this ballpark. Obviously came over from the National League, and Royals haven't been here yet, but it's much different than Kauffman Stadium, where that sidewall goes up over your head. You just run into a pad.
Collins is walking a little bit gingerly down the left field line. It looks like he's walking off the field. Matt Quatrero has Isaac Collins' glove in his left hand. He's just pulled out his lineup card and he's motioning to the umpires and motioning to the dugout to bring somebody in. So Isaac Collins is coming out of the game in the bottom of the first inning. Meanwhile, Cole Reagans is throwing some pitches to stay loose.
Looks like Tyler Tolbert's got a glove on and a cap on down there, ready to maybe come in.
Tyler Tolbert is now throwing with Vinny Pasquantino on the first base side to get his arm loose. And Collins has made it to the third base bag, still walking with a visible limp, though he is walking completely under his own power. This is just his second career game at Comerica Park. The Brewers of course, as a team in the National League, only come to American League cities once every other year. Collins is now down the first base dugout steps. Tyler Tolbert is out in left field. And the plate appearance continues for Kevin McGonigal. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The payoff pitch. Low and outside, and that's ball 4. And hard to imagine that the time between pitches didn't have a little bit to do with that one.
Yeah, you know, he's had some weird first innings. The slip in his first game on opening night, and then, of course, the injury last week. He tried to pitch through it, and then this delay here. You just hope that for Isaac Collins, his injury is as mild as Cole Reagans' injury was in the first inning last time Cole pitched.
Batter is now Dylan Dingler, right-handed hitter, and the pitch. Breaking ball bounced on the ground toward third. Garcia backhands over to second for 1. Quick relay to first. In time for 2. A double play to end the inning. And now Jonathan India is shaken up. Kevin McGonigal slid in a little bit late. And there was contact with India, who couldn't get out of the way before getting rid of the relay throw. Now India is up and walking off the field under his own power after being the fulcrum of that inning-ending double play. McGonigal kind of popped up out of his slide. Thanks for joining us inside the IBEW Local 124 broadcast booth. Royals and Tigers tonight from Comerica Park. We start the top of the second inning. The Royals and Tigers are scoreless. Salvador Perez leads off against lefty Framber Valdez. He winds, kicks, and delivers. First pitch curveball drops in for a strike, and it's 0-1. With Steve Stewart and our producer-engineer Eric Guthrie, I'm Jake Eisenberg. Start of a road trip for the Royals. 3 here in Detroit and then 3 in the Bronx against the Yankees. Here's the pitch. Fastball chopped to the right side and through the vacated right side of the infield. A base hit for Salvador Perez. The Tigers had him playing to pull with the second baseman Zach McKinstry up the middle, and so there was a ton of dirt that was open on that right side, and Salvi sent it right through there into right field. With that single by Salvi, and for every Royals single this season, it earns a donation from Sun Life and the Kansas City Royals Foundation for Team Smile and their mission to improve the oral health of Kansas City youth. Vinny Pasquantino steps to the plate. Valdez delivers. First pitch fastball over the outer half, called strike one. Tigers infield plays Pasquantino to pull. Here's the pitch. Sinker bounced foul, first base side, and it's 0-2. A lot of sinkers from Framber Valdez. A lot of ground balls. So far, 3 of the 4 batted balls from Royals bats have been on the ground. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. Good block from the catcher, Dylan Dingler. And it's 1-2. Now, Valdez, going back the last few years, has a ground ball rate near 60%. It is the 5th highest among qualified pitchers since the start of the 2023 season. The 1-2. Curveball nubbed back to the mound. Valdez knocks it down with the bottom of his glove. Short arms a throw to second. It's just barely in time to get Salvi trying to slide in. Now, Valdez kind of threw a shot put over to Javier Baez covering the second base bag. Now, had he delivered a stronger throw, the Tigers might have had a chance for a double play. And frankly, Valdez is lucky that the baseball even made it to Javier Baez with the way that he threw it. So Pasquantino's at first. 1 out now in the top of the second. Scoreless game at Comerica Park. And Starling Marte is the batter. Valdez delivers. Curveball bounced foul at the plate, and it's 0-1. It's an interesting matchup for the Royals against Framber Valdez tonight. Because of all those ground balls that Valdez induces, the Royals, though, this year as an offense actually have the highest fly ball rate in baseball. Valdez delivers, and Marte smacks it back up the middle, a base hit into center field. A one-hopping line drive right off the third base side of the mound. Pasquantino's over to second. Marte's on at first. That is his 4th hit as a Royal. He's now 4 for 12 with the Royals. And even though he did not play against the White Sox, so it's over the last week or so, that is a 4-game hitting streak for Starling Marte. Runners on first and second, 1 out. First pitch now to Jonathan India. Curveball over the low outside corner, called strike one. India has gotten on base a good amount so far this season, though it hasn't necessarily been with hits. He is 0 for his last 10. Valdez delivers. Sinker misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike. However, in that span, India has drawn 4 walks. He's also been hit by a pitch, so he's still reached base 5 times. The 1-1. Down and in. Dingler scoops it up from the dirt. And the count's now 2 balls and a strike. Dingler proved himself to be a really good catcher last year. He was the American League Gold Glover behind the plate last year. The 2-1 to India. Fastball chopped down the line at third. It's foul just past McGonigal. 2-2. Along with the rookie Kevin McGonigal at third. El Mago, Javier Baez, big league veteran. He's at shortstop. Zach McKinstry's at second base tonight. Spencer Torkelson plays first for the Tigers. Riley Green in left. Matt Vierling in center. Wenzel Perez is in right. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jonathan India. Here's the pitch. Curveball fouled in and out of Dingler's mitt. India stays alive. Still 2-2. So last year, the Royals Well, they were somewhat tortured by Framber Valdez. Faced him twice early on in the season, once in April, once in May. He went 8 innings both times. The 2-2. Curveball stays outside, and it's 3-2. In May, he threw 8 innings of 1-run ball. In April, he threw 8 innings of 2-run ball. That was actually a complete game loss for Valdez. The Royals beat the Astros 2-0 that day. You go back to 2024, his start in August that year, 7 shutout. Payoff pitch. Fastball up and away, ball 4. So Jonathan India walks again. That loads the bases for Carter Jensen. Scoreless game, top of the second, and a chance for the Royals to crack through Framber Valdez in the top of the second inning.
Pitching in Houston all those years with the roof closed most nights. This was about the weather when you close the roof in Houston, about 79. Very little, obviously no wind indoors, but very little wind here tonight is perfect.
First pitch to Jensen. Fastball popped up foul, third base side out of play, and it's 0-1. This is Carter Jensen's first career game against the Tigers. First of, well, a lot that are sure to come.
Get used to him.
Here's the pitch. Low and outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Thought it was interesting, Stu, not only do we see 2 all-star southpaws for this series opener, but both highly touted rookies are in the lineup for these teams. The 1-1. Jensen chops it up the first baseline foul, 1-2. And that is despite the fact that both Kevin McGonigal and Carter Jensen, 2 of the top prospects in baseball, and certainly early candidates for American League Rookie of the Year, are left-handed hitters. This would be a day that logically maybe their managers would say, oh, you know what, don't face Valdez, don't face Reagans, but they're both in there.
Tells you a lot about how the managers see them.
No doubt. Here's the 1-2 to Jensen. Fastball down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Carter Jensen. And as much as Carter Jensen gets used to the Tigers, no doubt Kevin McGonigal will get used to the Royals. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jensen. Here's the pitch. Fastball low and outside, and the count's full, 3-2. Nowhere to put Jensen with the bases loaded. Only 1 out in the top of the second inning. Now, Valdez only needed 8 pitches and faced the minimum in the first inning. He's about to throw his 21st pitch in this inning. Here it comes. Breaking ball hit on the ground weakly to the right side. McKinstry charges. Torkelson cuts it off in front of him. Throws to second again and out. No relay. The Tigers only get 1 out. Pasquantino scores, and the Royals have a 1-0 lead in the top of the second inning. Of that kind of a ground ball, maybe not what Carter Jensen wanted to do, but he hit it softly enough that it gave the Royals a result they were hoping for, a run-scoring ground out and not a double play.
And Carter has struck out 16 times this year, so not striking out also a virtue in that situation. Making contact, bringing in a run.
The bases remain loaded, and Tyler Tolbert steps to the plate. The pitch. Curveball outside, ball 1. Tolbert did not start this game. He entered defensively for Isaac Collins in the bottom of the first inning when Collins went running into the short railing on the sidewall in the left field corner where the fence juts out, and he left with an apparent injury. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball bounced toward third. McGonigal charges, fields in the heel of his glove, throws on the run to first in time for the out, and that ends the inning. So the Royals strand the bases loaded, but they do get a run off Framber Valdez in the top of the second inning. .com/Sunday. The Royals have a 1-0 lead over the Tigers. Now the bottom of the second inning. Cole Reagans is ready. He delivers to Wenzel Perez. First pitch fastball inside, and that's ball 1. Perez is a switch hitter. He's batting right-handed against the lefty Reagans. From the third base side of the rubber, overhead windup, the pitch. Check swing on a knuckle curve down and in. Perez held. The count's now 2 balls and no strikes. Reagans threw 15 pitches in the bottom of the first inning. 8 of them were strikes. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Fastball stroked on the ground towards short. One hop for Bobby Witt Jr. He gloves, throws to first on target and in time. One away. That brings up Riley Green, who's batting 6th in A.J. Hinch's lineup tonight. Green might normally hit higher up in the order, but like Matt Quatrero, A.J. Hinch has shuffled his lefties around with the Tigers facing a lefty. And this is, in fact, the first time the Tigers have faced a lefty starter all year long. First pitch to Riley Green. It's over the outer edge, a called strike, and it's 0-1. Green was an all-star last year. He also earned a Silver Slugger. Here's the pitch. Fastball hit on the ground to the right side. Pasquantino lunges to his right, snares it from beneath, throws to first. Reagans covers and gloves in time for the out. A terrific play on the right side from Vinny Pasquantino. He robs Riley Green of a hit. And there are 2 outs now in the bottom of the 2nd inning. That brings up Spencer Torkelson, who, like Riley Green, had a very powerful season last year. Each of them eclipsed 30 home runs last year. First pitch to Torkelson. Fastball inside, and that's ball 1. So for Torkelson, it was more of a bounce back year than a breakout year. He also had 30+ homers in 2023. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Knuckle curve drops in for a strike. That was a beauty, and it's 1-1. That felt like that breaking ball came from the clouds. Reagans delivers. Changeup swung out and missed, and it's 1-2. Reagans has not thrown a ton of changeups so far tonight. It's been mostly 4-seam fastballs. Here's the 1-2 to Torkelson. Knuckle curve in the dirt. Torkelson checked his swing successfully. The count's now 2-2. Bases empty, 2 outs, bottom of the 2nd. Royals up 1-0. Here's the pitch. Changeup swung on and missed. Strike 3. A clean bottom of the 2nd inning. What has been a fairly eventful game so far.
Yeah, the good news is the Royals have a 1-0 lead very early in the game, and they have the guy who's been at the top of the order and at the top of a lot of the Royals statistics to lead off this 3rd inning. It's right-handed hitting Garcia. He takes a curve from this 5'11" lefty Valdez. It's a strike. 0-1 the count. Michael reached on an error his first time up. Next pitch, called strike on the inside corner. The sinker from Valdez, making his 4th start of the year. Native of the Dominican. And the next one. Breaking ball misses down and in. 10th career appearance, 8th career start against the Royals. A 3.20 career ERA against the Royals, but his last 3 starts against KC, the ERA 1.17. And Jake mentioned last year the great numbers he had against the Royals in his 2 starts as an Astro. 1-2 on Garcia. The pitch to Michael. Chopper over the mound, left of second base. Glove by Baez. He'll fire to first. Take care of Garcia, who's 0 for 2. That'll bring Bobby to the plate. Bobby grounded into a double play his first time up. He doesn't do that a lot, as you know. He's got to hit it right in the vicinity of somebody and hit it pretty sharply in order to do that. Believe it or not, it's the 4th double play Bobby's hit into this year, here in this first month of the season. There's a first pitch fastball and a called strike on Bobby. .271 his average coming in. He leads the majors with 8 steals. He's 8 for 8 stealing bases. Here's the pitch. Swing and a slicer down the right field line, and that's going to be foul to the right of the pole down in right field on this beautiful night at Comerica Park in Detroit. So he has 8 stolen bases to lead the major leagues, and he's still stuck on 1 run scored all year, playing in his 17th game. That's going to change in a hurry. Next pitch. Swing, and he shoots that one foul back to the netting. And he hasn't homered yet, so he hasn't driven himself in yet. But obviously the guys behind him Vinny and Salvi in particular are off to slow starts, and the Royals haven't been hitting with runners in scoring position, so it's been not a good formula for him to rack up the runs as of yet. Next pitch, breaking ball, fly ball down the right field line. Perez over toward the right field corner will make the catch on the foul side of the line, down in the corner, and Bobby is 0 for 2.
Well, it's remarkable and kind of a microcosm of what this season has been offensively for the Royals. And Bobby Witt Jr. has reached base 27 times this year and scored once.
Yeah, that's hard to do. It's hard to not score, especially with his speed and getting on that much not to come around and score. Now it's Lane Thomas standing in. He'll take a pitch outside. Thomas is the 3-hole hitter against this lefty tonight. Of course, Lane's a right-handed batter playing center field tonight. He flied to shallow center his first time up this evening. He has one extra base hit as a Royal, a double. Next pitch, swing and a foul straight back. A good cut on that sinker. Fouled it straight back. Most of the field is in the shadows here. Little streams of sunlight, little streaks of sunlight out in left center and left field. Here's the next pitch. And a breaking ball misses away. 2-1 now on Thomas, trying to get a 2-out rally started. Salvi waiting on deck. Top of the third inning, 1-0 KC. Royals have out hit him 2-1. Infield shaded around to the left for right-handed hitting Lane Thomas. And the pitch to him. Breaking ball is a little bit low. It's a 3-1 count. Thomas waits. Valdez kicks and delivers. And a fastball misses in, and that's ball 4. So the Royals draw their second walk of the night. It's a 2-out walk and brings Salvi to the plate with a man on deck.
Early on, the Royals' patience against Valdez is really standing out. They haven't gone fishing at the curveballs that he's thrown, and Valdez has landed a good amount of them. And the Royals haven't necessarily chipped away at those sinkers either, even though they have hit some ground balls tonight.
Here's Salvi, runner at first, 2 down. First pitch swing and a soft liner that'll be caught by Baez at short. And just like that, big game tomorrow. Another 5:40 start. Kansas City time. We'll be on again with a pregame show at 5 tomorrow. And then Thursday's a day game, a 12:10 start. We'll be on at 11:30 Thursday morning. We're keeping our fingers crossed that Mother Nature cooperates. So far, she's done beautifully because it's a great night here in downtown Detroit. Javier Baez is now 33. The veteran in his 5th year with the Tigers now will stand in. He's off to a nice start this year. .316 average with a homer, 3 doubles, 5 driven in. In a typical Javi Baez fashion, he has 9 strikeouts and 1 walk. A long time with the Cubs, of course, at the beginning of his career. Right-handed hitter, the 8th man in the batting order. Swings to the first one. Gets a little flare into shallow right. It'll be caught by Marte. So, a little lob wedge into right field, and Marte able to get there. And for Cole Reagans, that is 5 batters in a row. He's retired.
Cole Reagans gets the first out of the inning with his first pitch of the inning, and he breaks a bat in the process. And that was a nice reaction and angle and close from Marte.
It was. Now Zach McKinstry, their number 9 hitter, left-handed hitter, second baseman. And he takes a pitch outside from the lefty Reagans. This is the 4th year as a Tiger for McKinstry. He's hitting a .184, coming off his best big league season. Now Cole, full windup. Now the pitch, and he misses down and away, and he's fallen behind 2-0. McKinstry was a 33rd round pick by the Dodgers 10 years ago. He went to college nearby at University of Central Michigan. Began his career with the Dodgers and spent a little time with the Cubs before coming over here. Next pitch, swing, grounder right to India at second base, picks it up, goes to first for the out. I was asking Jose Alguacil today about Jonathan. Of course, he's the Royals' outstanding infield coach. He's respected throughout the game, and Jonathan has said, you know, he's very open about working on things, and when he's going well or when he's going poorly, and he feels like he's getting better as a second baseman. And I asked Luis, I said, what's he working on to try and get better? There's a pitch upstairs, and Luis, or Jose Alguacil, said he just needs to slow the game down, let it come to him, don't hurry things, because everybody's wired differently, Some guys got to slow things down a little. You don't want to take it too slowly, but there's a pop fly on the right side. Foul territory. Marte, will he get another one? He will, and this one lands on the fair side of the line. But bottom line was, at 6:40, it'll be the Royals and these Tigers, and you'll take home a Bobby and Vinny rock, paper, scissors bobblehead. It's presented by Community America Credit Union. Get tickets at Royals.com/promotions.
That bobblehead, they're both wearing the new City Connect jerseys, too.
How about that? Speak of the Angel, Vinny Pasquantino stands in and takes a breaking ball down and away from this lefty Valdez. Vinny reached on a fielder's choice and came around to score a run, the only run of this game back in the second inning. Infield shading him around to the right, infield placement to hit the other way. Here comes the 1-0 and a swing and a high fly ball hit well to right. Perez going back. Perez on the track right in front of the fence. He pulls it down. Then he got under it just a little bit too much, and it stays in the yard. 1 out.
Well, the wind didn't help him either. You can't really see from the flags that are here at Comerica Park, but up above the upper deck, it is gusting in from right across the field toward the left field corner. And Pasquantino probably hit it high enough that that wind knocked it down a decent amount.
Now Starling Marte, who has a base hit in his one at bat tonight. Right-handed hitter. And he'll take a pitch inside. Marte largely is on this team for nights like this when the Royals are facing a left-handed starter. Marte's 37, been around forever, been a really good player for a long time. Here's the 1-0. And a fastball at the knees on the inside part of the plate is a called strike. Marte hasn't homered yet this year. Both his extra base hits have been doubles. Nobody on, 1 out here in the fourth, and the pitch. And a fastball is a called strike. And it's 1-2. Marte came in 4 for 17 with 2 doubles against Valdez, so he's seen a good bit of him. 1-2 now. And the pitch. And a swing, and he shoots it foul down the right side out of play. I don't ever remember coming to Detroit and have it be this warm in April. This is fantastic. This is like July or at least June. 1-2, and it's a breaking ball in the dirt, and it's 2-2.
I mean, in fairness, are you going to remember the nice days, or are you going to remember the brutally cold
ones? That's a good point. But I'll put it this way: that my first game here, I just remember them chipping the ice off the tarp before game time. It was so cold. It was down in the low 30s. That's my forever memory of April here. 2-2 and a foul back. You know, last week when we were in Cleveland, it was so cold there. The long-term forecast didn't look very optimistic for Detroit. At that point, it looked like it might be almost as cold here, maybe not quite that cold. But the forecast got better as we got closer to the series. So, and again, like we said, we'll have Detroit and Kansas City in early May. And there's a curve that misses way outside. 3-2 now on Starling Marte.
Who knew? All we needed to do was go to the other side of Lake Erie.
That's right. It's warmer over here. Here comes the 3-2. Swing and a high fly ball to center. Vierling going back, but he's got plenty of room to make the catch. And Marte's retired. So he's 1 out of 2. And with 2 down, nobody on, Jonathan India will stand in. He drew his 8th walk of the year in the second inning tonight. And he had a sliding Kevin McGonigal come hard into him at second base earlier tonight. One thing we learned is he takes the first pitch high here. One thing we learned about India last year is he's as tough as they come. Catcher's going to challenge ball 1. This is Dylan Dingler challenging here. We'll look up at the board in left field. And boy, by a razor's edge, it is a ball. I mean,
the call is confirmed. Detroit has 1 challenge remaining.
By a 1/10 of an inch. So good eye by India. 1-0 the count as it remains. And now Valdez deals. And there's a called strike. Ball and a strike. Top of the 4th inning. 1 run on 2 hits for the Royals. No runs on 1 hit for Detroit. Detroit has been great at home. They're 5-1 in this yard. Here comes the 1-1. There's a fastball grounded towards second. Charging in McKinstry. He'll throw to first for the out. And the Royals go 1-2. Learn more at Royals.com/CityConnect. And Jake, I got to say, I was down in the team store this weekend a couple of times, and it was very crowded. And the City Connect area was very crowded. They've been a hit so far with those looking for Royals gear, as Matt Vierling, right-handed hitter, stands in, takes a breaking ball down and in for a ball one from Cole Reagans. Vierling leading off the fourth. He had an infield hit his first time. Next pitch misses inside. It's 2-0.
Went down there a couple times too, and I was talking to some people in the team store, and I asked them what's been the hottest selling item over the course of the weekend.
2-0 now on Matt Vierling, the St. Louis native. Pitch to him, swing, and fouls it off of Salvador Perez.
Somewhat predictably, the on-field cap, they said they were selling like hotcakes, and the Bobby Witt Jr. new Forever Fountain City Connect jersey, that was the top selling City Connect jersey. Yeah, somewhat unsurprising as far as the jerseys go, but
sure. 2-1 on Vierling. Pitch from Reagans, and that's just a little bit high, close but high, and it's 3-1.
I'll say anecdotally, saw a bunch of the Vinny Pasquantino City Connect jerseys, saw a bunch of the crew neck sweatshirts. Those look sharp. Good stuff.
3-1, and the pitch, and it's up and in. That's ball four. So a leadoff walk. Second walk issued by Reagans tonight is Matt Vierling, who's a right-handed batter. Jake mentioned this is the first time all year the Tigers have faced a left-handed starting pitcher, and Vierling's in the lineup. The other guy they were hoping to have in the lineup is Jahmai Jones, who's a right-handed hitter who last year had a .970 OPS against lefties. And wouldn't you know that they had a flu bug going around the clubhouse, and it hit him, and he wasn't available to start tonight. But Vierling was, and now he's on for a second time. And here's a check swing foul off the bat of the rookie sensation Kevin McGonigal, who walked his first time.
Well, this afternoon, A.J. Hinch was talking about Jahmai Jones. He was predictably asked about Jahmai Jones, and he kind of shook his head and chuckled a little bit. He said, man, Jahmai's been waiting for a lefty starter now for 16 games.
No kidding.
Lo and behold, he's sick.
0-1. And the pitch, and a swing, and a chopper pulled foul.
Apparently that flu bug was going around the Tigers clubhouse mostly when they were in Minneapolis. Well, maybe not as much of a surprise that they got swept there in 4 games. That might have had something to do with it.
Yeah, they're 2-8 on the road. 4 of those 8 losses, 4 in a row at Minnesota. There's a pitch outside. So they're 5-1 at home, 2-8 on the road. And again, it was a kind of a wake-up call for the whole division last week when Minnesota, admittedly in very cold weather, their home park, but of course this is a cold weather team, Detroit, but Minnesota swept them. There's a ground ball up the middle, glove by Bobby. Thought about trying to backhand flip to second, thinks better of it, and gets the out at first base.
And because of the way the Royals had the infield position, when Bobby ranged to the right of second, there was nobody close enough to the second base bag for Bobby to relay to try and start a double play. He actually tried flipping to Jonathan India first, but India wasn't going to beat Vierling to the bag, and so Bobby got the out at first. What Michael Garcia did that was really smart, he recognized nobody was covering third, and he raced over there to make sure that Vierling couldn't advance another 90 feet.
Dylan Dingler, their catcher, cleanup hitter, right-handed batter, stands in, takes a pitch high for a ball. So a walk and a ground out. Have a runner at second for Detroit with 1 down. Dingler grounded into a double play his first time. Reagans from the stretch delivers. Swing and a slicer foul out of play down the right side. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Tigers, in their 5 home wins, they beat St. Louis here 2 out of 3. They swept the Marlins here this past weekend. They've outscored their opponents at home 34-14. They've just been dominant at home. 1-1. Now the pitch, and a swing and a miss. Actually, a foul tip just got a piece of it. 1-2. Dingler, who doesn't get to wear much of his alma mater gear around the town in which he plays. I guess he could, but he played at Ohio State, so he probably doesn't. But he's quickly becoming a fan favorite here in this part of Michigan. Here's the 1-2, and a fastball misses a little bit low and away. 2-2. Dingler in his first full year a year ago. Remember, he's a catcher. He had .278 with 13 homers. Had a good year. And the 2-2. Swing, broken bat, roller left side. Glove by Garcia. Picks it up, fires across to first for the out. Going to third is Vierling on the play. bat breaking kind of slowed the roll on the baseball, and Garcia no trouble getting Dingler, and Bierling no trouble getting to third base. So runner at third, 2 down. That'll bring up Perez, who began the year in AAA for these guys, was called up just the other day. He's so far 0 for 8. Third year of playing in the big leagues for the Tigers of various time spans. There's a first pitch curveball. A beauty drops in there for strike 1 on Perez, who's 26. Grounded to shortstop his first time up. He's got a runner at third, 2 down. That runner at third is Bierling. Defense on the infield is pulled around to the left for the right-hand batter. Now the 0-1. Swing. Pop up right side. Foul, and that'll be back and out of play. The outfield is straight up. A lot of blue sky overhead and some very thin cloud cover. Both these teams come into this game 7-9, the first of 13 the Royals and Tigers will play this year. 0-2 on Perez. Now Reagans deals, and it's down in the dirt. Salvi blocks it. Last year, the Tigers took 9 of the 13 games these teams played one another, and they really kind of set the tone for the season series very early when the Royals were here very early last year, and the Tigers took 3 out of 4. 1-2, and the pitch, and it's down to the dirt. Of course, the Tigers had a magical first half of the year, but then they really went downhill the last couple of months. They had a 15.5 game lead at one point over the Guardians in July, and by the end, Cleveland overtook them at the very end. But then they beat Cleveland in the postseason. 2-2, runner at third, 2 down, and the pitch. Breaking ball, pulled foul, third base side, and another broken bat will have to be replaced. That was hit down near the bat handle by Perez, and he's got a 2-2 count with a runner at third and 2 down.
Well, between Valdez and Reagan so far tonight, if you work for Louisville Slugger or Rawlings or Victus, Dovetail, it's a good night for business.
Yeah. Reagans has thrown 50 pitches tonight. 2-2 in the pitch, and it's low, and it's a full count.
And so far, Reagans has not gotten a lot of chase on the changeup. He also hasn't located his changeup as effectively as he normally does.
This will be his 21st pitch of this inning with the runner at third, 2 down. 3-2 the count. Now the pitch, and a swing, and a foul back, and the inning continues. Well, Reagans coming off that very unfortunate game in Cleveland when the batted ball on Thursday off the bat of Jose Ramirez got him in the thumb, and so he had to leave that game very early. 3-2, swing and a foul back. Perez continuing to fight off Cole Reagans. This will be the next pitch will be the 9th of this plate appearance. A leadoff walk to Bierling. He's at third with 2 down right now. Here in the bottom of the 4th, Royals lead at 1-0. Reagans back to work. Here comes pitch number 9. And it's a fastball called strike 3. Got him looking. And now
the pitch is called a strike. The batter is challenging.
Perez will challenge that fastball called a strike. We'll look up at the big board in left field. And it was a ball.
The ball is overturned. The pitch is a ball.
So he wins the challenge, so that becomes the 3rd walk of the night for Cole Reagans, and now he's got to throw more pitches. He's got him at the corners with 2 down for Riley Green, left-handed batter.
Well, that is where ABS is meant to be used. It might only be the 4th inning, but that's a challenge that overturned a strikeout that would have been the 3rd out of an inning. It overturned a strikeout to a walk and kept the inning alive for last year, a guy who had 111 RBIs.
So in effect, Detroit, with that successful challenge, gets a 4th out of the inning. First pitch is high, snap throw to third, safe as Garcia laid the tag on Bierling, trying to scramble back to third, and he got back in time. So ball 1 on Riley Green, who's a 2-time All-Star. He has reached in all 16 games the Tigers have played this year. Not yet tonight, however. He's grounded out to Vinny Pasquantino at first. 1st and 3rd, 2 down. Lefty, lefty. Reagans deals. Breaking ball is a little high, and he falls behind 2-0. And the pitch count for this inning continues to rise.
How's this? Only other two players that have reached in every game their team has played: Shohei Ohtani and Tampa Bay Rays outfielder Chandler Simpson.
2-0 now on Green in the pitch, and there's a called strike from Reagans. '26 pitch inning. About to throw his 27th pitch of the inning. 2-1 in the pitch, and a breaking ball misses low. And now it's 3-1. So 58 pitches, 30 strikes, 28 balls. So just about a 50-50 ratio. He'd like a much higher percentage of strikes than that. 3-1, and the pitch, and a swing and a miss. It's 3-2. That cutters work for him from time to time tonight, as it did right there. And now he's got a full count, which means the runner at first, Perez, will get a head start. First and third, 2 down. Bottom of the fourth, 1-0 Royals. (3-2) pitch from Cole. Swing, grounder right to India at second. On a knee, picks it up, throws to first. Inning over. A lot of pitches, but no runs allowed as we go to the 5th inning. Royals on top, 1-0.
And it is Kenley Jansen who leads off the top of the 5th against lefty Framber Valdez. He's thrown 58 pitches so far tonight. Here comes the first one to Jansen. Swung on and missed, and it's 0-1. Valdez signed with the Astros back in 2015. The Astros discovered him, more or less, in the Dominican Republic. Valdez is from Palenque. He delivers, and Jansen swings and misses at his sinker. It's 0-2. And the Astros scouts that discovered Framber Valdez quite literally signed him on the spot after watching him pitch for the first time. Valdez kicks and delivers. Sinker chopped up the first base line. Torkelson charges, scoops a short hop, and steps on first for the out. 1 away. That brings up Tyler Tolbert, who entered the game defensively for Isaac Collins in the bottom of the first inning. Collins officially exited tonight's game with a right knee contusion. Tolbert's 0 for 1 and now 0 for 3 on the season. Now, the Astros scouts that signed Framber Valdez, it wasn't so much what they saw, it was more what they heard. Valdez delivers. Sinker nub back to the mound. Valdez picks up the spinner, steps and throws to first low. Skipped by Torkelson down the right field line in foul ground. Tolbert takes off for second. He gets there standing. Well, Valdez has been, for the most part, pretty good throwing from the pitcher's mound, 60 feet 6 inches. But when he's trying to throw to a base, he's more or less shot-putted it to his fielder covering the bag. And that time, he delivered low to Spencer Torkelson, who couldn't get a glove on it. Now, Tyler Tolbert is he called out for being out of the base path on the way up to first? He was.
Oh, my goodness.
He was called out of the base path running to first by the first base umpire, Jansen Visconti. Matt Quatrero came out briefly to argue and then went back to the first base dugout. First pitch to Michael Garcia, and he takes inside, ball 1. Now, Tolbert was running a little bit on the infield grass inside the line, but not egregiously so, and it certainly didn't seem to have any effect on the play. So that's tough. The pitch. That's low. 2 balls, no strikes on Garcia. So base is empty, 2 outs, and instead of having a runner on second with 1 out for the top of the lineup, the bases are empty with 2 outs. And Tolbert's out on batter interference. It's a put out credited to the catcher, Dylan Dingler. The pitch. Garcia hits it high in the air, deep left center field. Riley Green waves his arms. He's in the gap. He makes the catch. And just as quickly as it started, the inning is over. All it took was 7 pitches on Friday, May 8th through Sunday, May 10th, when the Royals host the Tigers. Snag a special Royals Nurses hat when you purchase a theme ticket for any game of the series. Get your tickets and all the details at royals.com/nurses. Cole Reagans faces Spencer Torkelson. First pitch. That's down and in, ball 1. That was Reagan's 61st pitch tonight. He's through 4 scoreless so far. Only has one strikeout. It came against Torkelson in the second inning. Overhead windup and the pitch. Fastball up and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Well, Reagan's command has not been at its sharpest. He's thrown just about as many balls as he has strikes. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Up and away. 3 balls, no strikes. On the last inning, Reagan's needed 29 pitches. 15 of them were strikes, so a little over 50%. All told, 63 pitches tonight, 32 strikes, 32 balls. He delivers. Fastball over the high outside corner called strike, and it's 3-1. The Royals have a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's the pitch. Change up, down and away, ball 4. And so Torkelson draws a leadoff walk. That's Reagan's 4th walk of the game, and 2nd straight inning in which he's issued a leadoff walk. Now, Salvi challenged that call of ball 4. It's the first Royals challenge tonight. Salvi seems pretty sure. He's nodding his head already, even though we haven't even seen it come in on ABS. And now it does, and it did in fact catch the edge of the zone. That is a strike. And so the count goes full, 3-2 on Spencer Torkelson. Here's the payoff pitch. Rolled foul, third base side, still 3-2. So Reagan's has gotten back in the count from 3-0 to 3-2. Another payoff pitch. Fastball low, and that's ball 4. So ultimately, the result is the same, except Reagan's had to throw 2 more pitches to get there. Brings up Javier Baez with a runner on first and nobody out. Royals up 1-0, bottom of the 5th.
We have zero way of knowing, and who knows if he would admit it or not. You do wonder about the last start and the thumb getting hit on the liner, if it's affecting him at all tonight.
Here's the pitch. That's low for ball 1. Certainly didn't seem to be the case the first couple of innings. It's really only now the last 2 innings that the command has been shakier. Well, Reagan's in the 3rd inning only needed 6 pitches, and that's what's kept his pitch count in good form. He delivers. Knuckle curve, chop foul past Joey Cora, the third base coach, and it's 1-1. Reagan's against the Guardians struck out the first 2 batters he faced, then took the liner off the base of his left hand. Then he threw 3 practice pitches. All of them were high, and he admitted later that there was some numbness. The pitch. Baez flicks it in the air down the right field line, foul into the dark green seats. It's 1-2. Then after that, he issued a 4-pitch walk to David Fry, and none of those 4 pitches were particularly close. Then he fell behind Chase DeLauder, 1 ball, no strikes. So 5 straight out of the zone. Reagan's delivers down and in, 2-2. And then his next pitch, he grooved a fastball. He was trying to just throw a strike, and DeLauder was ready. Hit an RBI double off the left center field fence, and then Reagan's exited. Was ultimately charged with 3 runs. The pitch. Breaking ball bounced up the third base line, just foul. Garcia scoops it up and now lobs it to the ball boy well down the left field line. Right by the area of the left field sidewall that juts out. That's where Isaac Collins went tumbling head over heels and exited with a right knee contusion. That was in the bottom of the 1st. Here's the pitch. Baez loops it, shallow left center field. Tolbert sprints in, Witt back, he makes it over the shoulder, basket grab. Bobby Witt Jr. does it again and again and again. That exact same play. There is nobody better ranging into shallow left center from shortstop than Bobby Witt Jr.
You know, he's like a superhero. He does stuff like that.
It's a bird. It's a plane.
No, it's BWJ.
It's Bobby Witt Jr. with a Willie Mays style catch from short. First pitch to Zach McKinstry. He swings and misses at a fastball, strike one.
I will say, despite the fact that his strike to ball ratio isn't quite what he would want, there is a 0 in the run column, so it's not like he's pitching badly. I'm just wondering about his command. But you know, hey, he's getting it done.
Here's the pitch. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike on McKinstry. And to your point, Stu, there is only a number 1 in the hits column, and that was an infield hit by Matt Vierling in the first inning. Bounced right over the third base bag. The pitch. McKinstry fouls it in and out of Salvi's mitt. That's a strike 1 and 2. McKinstry was an all-star last year, and he seemed to produce most of his offense against the Royals. Felt like he was in the middle of every winning play that the Tigers had. He hit .316 against the Royals, a double. There were a couple of triples, even a home run. And he wound up as a Silver Slugger last year among utility players. Tossed to first, and Torkelson's back standing. Now, McKinstry, he had a good offensive year. There's nothing to take away from that. But the other finalists for the utility Silver Slugger were Ben Rice of the Yankees and Maikel Garcia. And, well, it raised an eyebrow, to say the least, that McKinstry won. Reagans delivers. McKinstry grounds it to the right side. India fields. Backhand shovel to win it. Second one out there. Relay to first is in time for 2. An inning-ending double play.
For you.
The 6th inning is our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant Mike Huffman from Lansing, Kansas. Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning. Mike wins $700. Royals hit a grand slam out of the park in this inning. Mike wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Bobby Witt Jr. leads off inning number 6. First pitch. Curve called strike from Framber Valdez, 32-year-old lefty, former Astro. Bobby tonight has grounded into a double play, flied out foul to right. Now the 0-1. Fastball pulled foul third base side right behind the one-time Detroit Tigers catcher Vance Wilson, the Royals third base coach. It's quickly 0-2 on Bobby, who is still looking for his first home run of the year. So is the guy on deck, Lane Thomas. Stalvey, due up third in this inning, has 2 homers on the year. Infield shading Bobby around to the left, the outfield straight up. The lefty Valdez delivers. Breaking ball, ground ball the other way into right center, a base hit to start the 6th inning for the Royals. So Bobby goes oppo, and he's on to lead off the 6th.
And now, will he cross home plate? That's the question.
Which he's done 1 time in the first 16 and a half games this year. Royals are 7-9. Bobby is 8 for 8 in stealing bases. Lane Thomas, the batter, has flied out and walked. First pitch, fastball outside corner for a strike. 8 steals to lead the majors. He has scored 1 run all year, which is remarkable. And that number's going to be changing soon, hopefully this inning. Oh and 1. Now pickoff throw. Bobby back safely. Eight for 9 now with a pickoff. So
he's never been thrown out by a catcher so far this year.
But 8 does lead both leagues. Fly ball right field. Perez over toward the right field line. The right fielder makes the catch for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Salvi. Here are the run totals in Bobby's career. In his rookie year of 22, he scored 82 times. In 2023, he scored 97 runs. 2 years ago, in 2024, the Royals were a playoff team. He scored 125 runs. Last year, 99 runs. This year, so far, 1 run. Here's Salvi now. A single and a line out to short. Runner at first, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Salvi takes a pitch inside. Ball 1.
Well, for a while there in 2024, we thought he might break the Royals single season record for runs scored. But it is still Johnny Damon.
Salvi with 29 career homers against the Tigers. 1-0. Swing, jammed him, and he pulls it foul third base side. Ball and 2 strikes on the captain. Ball and a strike on the captain. He is catching tonight. He has had a couple of days off from catching. Kenley Jansen played Sunday. The team had the day off yesterday. 1-1. Now quick throw to first, and Bobby dives back into the base safely. Of course, the lefty looking right at Bobby as he takes his lead. Bobby singled to start this 6th inning, this Sonic Slam inning. Now he's at first with 1 down. Ball and a strike on Salvador Perez. The pitch. Swing and a foul back and out of play. 1-2. Vinny Pasquantino's on deck. Salvi turns around to ask Corey Blazer, the home plate umpire, did I swing at a strike? Outfield plays Salvi to pull around to the left. Infield plays him to pull as well. Tons of room on the right side of the infield. Wide open. Here's the runner going. 1-2 pitch swing. Grounder to short. The runner going will keep them out of the double play. Throw to first. Salvi's out. So setting the runner gets Bobby to second. Keeps him out of the double play. Salvi's out 6-3. Royals have a runner in scoring position, which has been a problem of late, of course. Royals tonight are 0 for 2 in these situations in terms of scoring runs with a runner in scoring position. Now it's Vinny Pasquantino, who has not hit much this year, but he's found a way to drive in 7 runs. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He has scored the Royals' only run, the only run of this game so far. Runner at second, 2 down. Here's the pitch to Vinny. Fastball pulled foul. It's off the netting by the on deck circle where Starling Marte waits to hit next. He hopes. Runner at second, 2 down for the Royals here in the top of the 6th.
You could make an argument that even though Vinny's 0 for 2, nobody's hit a ball better so far tonight. He just missed a homer his last time up.
0-1. The lefty checks the runner, now deals. Fastball jammed Vinny, and he pulls it foul up the first base side. Vinny does have 1 home run in past matchups with this pitcher, and including tonight's results, he's a career 2 for 8 against Valdez with the 1 home run. He has not yet homered this season. Hit his first big league homer in this yard. 0-2. Now the pitch, and a breaking ball misses down and away. 1-2.
Yeah, even if we weren't sure about it in the moment.
Yeah.
He went through the fence.
Yeah.
Or just snuck under the fence.
Nobody was quite sure for a while, but then he had a big smile when it was all said and done. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Vinny Pasquantino. Valdez looks in, now checks on Bobby at second. Long pause. Now the 1-2. Curve is called, strike 3. Vinny caught looking. Inning over, and the Royals get a man to second, but they can't bring him home, and we go to the bottom of the. For being our Sonic Slam contestant, Mike Huffman from Lansing receives 2 tickets to a future Royals home game and a $10 reloadable My Sonic card. 1-0 Royals, bottom of the 6th inning. And it's Gleyber Torres leading off the 6th for Detroit, and he fouls a fastball straight back. Gleyber Torres, longtime Yankee, has fly to center and fly to right tonight. 0 for 2. Open stance for the right-handed batter. Reagan's full windup, now pitches, and a curve is a called strike. Gleyber Torres last year was an all-star. 256 average for the year. 16 homers, 74 driven in, 22 doubles. Here's the pitch. Swing and a slicer, foul out of play down the right side. This year off to a slow start. 214 average coming in, a homer, a double. He drew 85 walks last year to lead his club. Now the 0-2 swing, liner to center, right where Lane Thomas is. He'll come in a couple of steps to make the catch. And Torres is 0 for 3 tonight, their leadoff hitter against the lefty Cole Reagan. So he's 0 for 3. Now the batter will be Matt Bierling. Right-handed hitter has an infield hit, and he's drawn a walk, so he's reached base both times he's been up there. Cole had to throw 29 pitches in the 4th inning, but it was a scoreless inning, as they all have been so far. First pitch called strike. Cole is at 82 on the night now as he works here in the 6th. Straight up in the outfield, infield pulled around to the left for Matt Bierling. Former Philly out of Notre Dame. Here's the 0-1, and a fastball fouled straight back by number 8, Matt Vierling, playing center field. He's in his 4th year with the Tigers now. Came in at a $143. 0-2 in the pitch from Reagans. And a fastball's high, and it's 1-2. So we mentioned both Vierling and Jahmai Jones were extremely happy to see a left-handed starter. It meant a chance definitely to play, but like we mentioned, Jahmai Jones is sick, so he wasn't able to play left-handed here. There's a fastball fouled straight back, and Jahmai Jones is sort of the poster child for right-handed batters on this team, so much so that on the group text that A.J. Hinch, their manager, has, his instructions for this game coming up, as he saw a lefty was on the mound. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Vierling. Swing and a slicer, foul out of play. All he put was a picture of Jahmai Jones' face to the rest of the team, because he knew that Jahmai was so anxious to face a left-handed pitcher that he had one of the top OPSs against lefty pitching last year, 970, and what do you know, he's sick tonight. 1-2 breaking ball, fouled out of play off to the right.
A.J. Hinch said before the game today that Jahmai Jones was originally in the lineup until he found out this morning that Jones had that stomach bug or whatever it is that's been going around the Tigers clubhouse.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And now the pitch to Vierling, and it's a breaking ball, bounces in front of the plate and off Salvi and off toward the on-deck circle on the third base side.
So Reagans hasn't been able to put Vierling away, but the fastballs that he's thrown in this plate appearance have been some of his hardest over the last couple innings. 95, 96. He's emptying the tank right now.
Now the 2-2. Fastball, ground ball, third baseman Garcia on the backhand, fires to Vinny at first for the out. So 2 up, 2 down as Cole wins another battle. He has kept him off the board. The Royals lead 1-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Detroit, nobody on, 2 down. The batter will be the rookie sensation, 21-year-old Kevin McGonigal. You hear him get a big hand. He's already a fan favorite here. Tonight he's drawn a walk and grounded out. Just for the record, I know Jahmai Jones probably isn't listening, but I'm sure he's probably aware. Tomorrow it's Lugo pitching, a right-hander, but then Chris Bubich pitches here Thursday, another lefty. Left-handed hitter here facing Reagans, takes a strike as McGonigal falls behind this lefty from Kansas City.
I would have so many questions for Jahmai if he were tuning into our broadcast right now.
What are you doing?
That'd be great, though.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Here's the 0-1. Swing and a slicer, foul out of play down the left side.
I think Dan Dickerson would have more questions than we did.
He probably would. What are you doing? He's the voice of the Tigers, of course, Dan Dickerson, our friend. So. McGonigal waits. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a slicer, foul down the left side.
Another fastball at 96 miles an hour. Reagan's now at 91 pitches.
2 days ago, Kevin McGonigal, who's had a lot of firsts already these first few weeks, hit his first home run 2 days ago in the Tigers' last game. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a roller right to India at second. Picks it up. Goes to Vinny Pasquantino with a sidearm flip. Cole Reagans has a 1-2-3 matter-of-fact 6th inning. He has put up spring evening, and the Royals have a 1-0 lead over the Detroit Tigers, a team that really dominated them last year. The Royals were 4-9 against Detroit last season. They'd love to get off to a 1-0 start this year against them. They have the 1-0 lead, and now here in the 7th inning, Framber Valdez, their lefty starter, still in there, and he'll face Starling Marte, who has singled and flied to center tonight. Right-handed batter, left-handed pitcher. First one, swing, grounder, pulled right to the third baseman, McGonigal. Takes the big hop, throws it high to first, but not too high for big Spencer Torkelson, who jumps a little to get to it and makes the play at first for the out.
Between innings, Matt Quatrero did give Cole Reagans the handshake, and just caught a glimpse of the pitcher conclave happening in the dugout. So Reagans is done after his 6 scoreless innings.
6 scoreless, 1 hit. He walked 4, but bottom line is all zeros in that run column. The only column that really matters. There's a called strike on Jonathan India. He's drawn a walk and grounded out tonight. It was his 8th walk of the year. 0-1 on India, right-handed batter. Here's the pitch from the lefty. Swing and a miss.
And amazingly, Reagans only struck out 1 batter tonight.
Yeah, he's having a conversation right now with his pitching coach, Brian Sweeney, down in that first base Royals dugout. 0-2 now on India, the pitch, and a curve misses a little high. 1-2. Well, Reagan's this year, this is his fourth start. On opening night in Atlanta when he gave up the 3 home runs, he went 4 that night. His next start against Minnesota, he pitched 6. And then, of course, 2/3 of an inning in Cleveland the other day. There's a high popper on the infield, left side of the infield. Baez went to the outfield grass, now back to the dirt. He'll make the catch. 2 up, 2 down. So 4, then 6, and then, of course, the injury shortened 0.2. Good to see him. Great to see him, despite his 4 walks. Bottom line is, put up 6 scoreless on 1 hit tonight. That's got to be a boost for everybody in that dugout and everybody on the pitching staff. And Cole Reagans is describing his outing and how things went for him with Sweeney, who's listening intently. Here now is Kenley Jansen, and the first pitch to Carter is down for a ball. Jansen is driven in a run with a broken bat, fielder's choice ground out, and he's grounded out another time. Officially 0 for 2, but he now has 9 RBIs. He's driven in the only run of this game. 1-0. Now the pitch from the lefty. Curve misses low. 2-0 the count.
Nobody has started throwing in the bullpen, but Nick Mears did appear to stand up and start to get ready.
Now the next pitch. Fastball's a called strike on Jansen, who's batting in the 8th slot tonight. This is a version of the Royals lineup against left-handed pitchers, with Vinny hitting 5th, Jansen down in the 8th spot. Here's a grounder right to the second baseman at Kinstry. He'll fire to first, and the Royals go 1-2-3, and we go to the bottom of the 7th, with the Royals continue. Return to the Royals this year after beginning his career with KC back in 16 and 17, and then getting traded away. The prodigal son has returned and done a nice job out of the Royals' pen, and he will face the middle of the Tigers batting order here in the 7th inning. Dylan Dingler, Wenzel Perez, and Riley Green. So righty lefty against Matt Strom, North Dakota native, who's got a 4.76 ERA in 6 appearances. He's got 4 holds on the year. And right now he works with a 1-0 lead, so if he has a clean inning here or a scoreless inning, it would be a hold. First pitch is high for a ball to right-handed hitting Dingler, who's grounded out twice. One of those groundouts started a double play. Right-handed hitter. He had 13 homers a year ago, 3 this year. Infield shades the right-handed batter around to the left. Strom deals. Swing and a miss. 1-1 the count. 92 from Strom. After allowing 3 runs over 2 outings, April 5 and 6, he bounced back with a scoreless 8th inning last Friday night, earned his 4th hold of the season against the White Sox. One and one the count, and the pitch, and a swing and a slicer foul down the right side. 11 seasons, 4 teams. That's counting the Royals once, not twice. But it was Kansas City to begin, then traded off to San Diego late in the 17th season, then Boston, then Philly the last 3 years. Now back with the Royals. 1-2. The pitch to Dingler. Swing and a foul back as he came with the fastball that time. Dingler, their catcher, wears the same number the Royals catcher Salvador Perez wears, 13, in his 3rd season. Ball 2 strikes as Cole Reagans is done after 6 innings tonight. And the pitch. Fastball misses just a little inside. It's 2-2. So the numbers for Cole Reagans: 6 scoreless innings on 1 hit. He struck out 1, he walked 4, but he kept him off the board for 6 frames tonight, and he leaves with a lead. Here's the 2-2. Swing, grounder, pull to the left side. Diving to his left, Garcia gets up, throws to first late, as Vinny dug out the 1-hopper. That was going to be really tough. Great job by Garcia just to keep it on the infield, but he really had no chance to get Dingler. A well-placed infield hit for Dylan Dingler to start this 7th inning.
So that's 2 hits for the Tigers total, but they have both been infield hits to Garcia over a 3rd. That one, though, more sharply hit than Bierling's in the 1st inning.
So Dingler the runner at first. Here's Wenzel Perez. Looking for his first hit of the year. Just called up over the weekend from AAA. Takes a pitch upstairs. He drew a walk in the 4th inning tonight. He's also grounded a shortstop. Royals have turned a couple of double plays tonight. Middle infield at double play depth right now with Dingler leading from first. Here's the 1-0 and a breaking ball. This is way upstairs. 2-0 the count. Number 25, the uniform number for North Dakota native Matt Strom. Works from the third base side of the rubber. Comes set, looks right at that runner at first. The lefty deals, and a fastball is a called strike, and it's 2-1 on Perez. 1-3-0 for the Royals, 0-2-1 for Detroit. Perez first came to the big leagues with the Tigers back in 2024. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a foul off of Salvador Perez's mask. And it's 2-2. Perez played in 112 games in 24, his first year up here, and similarly last year 100 games. And then this year he didn't make the team out of spring training. Now he's up after an injury. 2-2. And the pitch. And a swing and a little pop up. Shallow right. India is out in shallow right field to make the catch for the out. So there's out number 1. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning with the Royals leading 1-0. And Riley Green will be the hitter. He is 0 for 2. He has reached base in every game so far this year. Tonight, though, 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts. Brandon Inge reached in 24 straight games to start the 09 season. That's the last time a Tigers hitter did something like this to start a year. First pitch to the left-handed batter is fouled off. Just barely got a piece. Riley Green.
This at bat right here, I would think, is the main reason why Strom is in the game in this inning as opposed to in the 8th inning.
Very tough left-handed hitter, drove in 111 runs last year. Strom, the lefty, trying to get him here. He's ahead 0-1. Runner at first, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. A beautiful slider, and it's 0-2 on Green.
Two things are true. Strom in his career has slight reverse splits. He's been better against righties than lefties, but there are the splits of the batter to consider too. And Riley Green has not nearly been as good against left-handed pitching.
Strom's ahead of him 0-2. Here comes the pitch, and a fastball misses outside, and Riley Green lays off. On deck for them is right-handed hitting slugger Spencer Torkelson. Outfield plays the left-handed hitter to hit the other way. Infield plays him to pull way around to the right. Dingler leads from first. And the 1-2 pitch. And it's called strike 3. He got him looking, and there's the second out of the inning. And the first strikeout for Matt Strom. Only the second strikeout by Royals pitching tonight, and yet Detroit has yet to score a run. So Cole Reagans had 1 strikeout in 6 innings. And Strom has 1 strikeout so far in 2/3 of an inning, and now he'll go to work on a guy who had 31 homers a year ago, Spencer Torkelson. He has struck out and walked tonight. Right-handed batter, runner at first, 2 down. The pitch. And a slider's a called strike against the righty here. Number 20, former number 1 overall pick, Spencer Torkelson. Has not yet homered this season. He whispered. Here's the 0-1, and a fastball's high, and it's 1-1. The Royals' run came in the 2nd inning, the only run either team has scored tonight. The Royals have led 1-0 most of the way. Very little wind on a beautiful night. 1-1. Runner at first, 2 down. The pitch. Fastball just misses inside. 2-1 on the man they called Torque, Spencer Torkelson, out in his 5th big league season. A lost year 2 years ago. He wound up getting optioned to AAA for much of that year, but came back strong last year. 2-1 on him now. Hitters count. Dingler leads from first. The pitch. Fastball misses low. 3-1 on Torkelson. On deck is Javier Baez. First of 3 against the Tigers. Another night game tomorrow. Day game here Thursday. Then the Royals go to Yankee Stadium for 3 this weekend. Then next Monday the Royals are home to begin a 6-game homestand. 3-1 on Torkelson. Strom delivers, and a slider's a called strike, a beauty. Throws Torkelson, and it's a full count, which gives Dingler, who is on base representing the potential tying run, will give him a head start off of first base here on this 3-2 pitch with 2 down. Matt Strom leans in, looking into his catcher Salvador Perez. Now comes set. And the payoff pitch. Way upstairs, ball 4. So Dingler is at second. Torkelson's at first. And here's Javier Baez.
That was a changeup, and it was nowhere close to where Strom wanted it to be. That more or less slipped out of his hand.
So now it's Baez, who is 0 for 2. He's flied out to right and popped to short on a great catch by Bobby out in shallow left center. But 0 for 2 tonight. Veteran Baez, first and second, 2 down. Right-handed batter against the lefty Strom. Checks the runners. Here's the pitch. And a fastball popped up right side, foul ground, out of play. Souvenir as Strom comes with a fastball and gets ahead 0-1. Strom checks the runners, and the 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Actually just barely got a piece. It's a foul tip into Salvi's mitt. So Matt Strom ahead 0-2. Can he put him away and keep the Royals on top? First and second, 2 down. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a chopper hit hard to third. Garcia has it deep behind third. Long throw and a strike to first to Vinny to take care of Baez and get out of the inning. So Strom puts a
after 7 innings of 1-run ball, and right-hander Will Vest is into the game. This call to the bullpen is powered by Wholesale Batteries. Any battery, anytime, delivered anywhere at wholesalebatteries.net. And so, well, ho-hum, another night for Framber Valdez against the Royals. 7 innings of 1-run ball. He really is a tough pitcher to get a hold of. Well, the Royals did scratch that 1 run across in the top of the second. And the Royals pitching tonight, Cole Reagans and Matt Strom, have combined for 7 scoreless. Kyle Isbell steps to the plate to begin the top of the 8th inning. He's pinch hitting for Tyler Tolbert. And so the platoon party begins for both managers. Vest delivers. First pitch fastball misses high, and that's ball 1. There are few better objectively at managing platoon matchups than Tigers manager A.J. Hinch. Vest delivers. Isbell fouls it straight back into the netting, and it's 1-1. And over the last few years, Matt Quatrero has certainly matched him sub for sub on most occasions. Well, the wheels are already turning in the third base dugout for the Tigers' 6th-year skipper, A.J. Hinch. The 1-1. A little bit high, 2-1. And no doubt Matt Quatrero was thinking through the potential switches that Hinch would make. He knew that if he brought in a righty out of the bullpen, that Kerry Carpenter was looming on the Tigers bench. Vest delivers a fastball over the outer edge of strike, 2-2. And so Q went with Strom. And now the question is, who pitches the 8th? Assuming that it's Lucas Erceg for the 9th, unless Erceg goes multiple innings. Here's the pitch. Fastball over the inner edge, called strike 3, and Isbell's down looking. That was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Will Vest, who has blossomed into a high-leverage arm for the Tigers over the last couple of seasons. Now, Vest last year was the Tigers' closer for the most part, had 23 saves in 30 tries. First pitch to Michael Garcia, and he takes a slider for a strike. It's 0-1. Vest has had an ERA at 3 or lower out of the Tigers bullpen each of the last 3 seasons. The pitch. Garcia checks his swing, hits it foul, third base side, 0-2. And so you might wonder, well, if Vest was that good last year, Why is he pitching in the 8th inning here and now? Well, for starters, the Royals have a 1-0 lead, so it's not the Tigers in front. For another, they added to their bullpen this offseason. They brought in Kenley Jansen to close. The pitch blowing outside, and the count's now 1-2. So far this season, the Tigers bullpen has been pretty good. 3.24 ERA is 8th best in baseball. But they haven't struck very many out, and they walk a ton of batters. The pitch. Garcia foul tips it in a Dingler's mitt. Strike 3. So 2 up, 2 down, 2 strikeouts for Will Vest. And that brings up Bobby Witt Jr. Not just because collectively the Tigers bullpen has a lower strikeout rate and a higher walk rate. Doesn't mean the same holds true for Vest. Though he did enter tonight having struck out 6, walked 3. This year he'd given up 5 runs on 6 hits across his 7 outings. First pitch to Witt. Hit on the ground down the third base line, just barely foul. And it's 0-1. Royals up 1-0, top of the 8th inning. Base is empty, 2 outs. The Royals have 3 hits tonight. The Tigers have 2 hits tonight. Somewhat as expected, runs at a premium. Good old-fashioned pitcher's duel between all-star lefties Cole Reagans and Framber Valdez. And now it's in the hands of the bullpens. The pitch. Over the outer edge, a called strike, and it's 0-2 on Bobby Witt Jr. Vest delivers. Outside with a slider. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bobby's 1 for 3 with his single tonight. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Witt chased a slider down and away. So Will Vest strikes out the side. In the inning, the Royals lead the Tigers 1-0. Now Mears is making his 7th appearance of the season. He has thrown 5 2/3 total innings. He is not allowed a run. Mears has struck out 6. He's walked 3. While he hasn't allowed a run, he has allowed 1 inherited runner to score. That was in his outing on Sunday. Mears issued a walk and also struck out a batter in his 2/3 of an inning. He faces Zach McKinstry to start the bottom of the 8th. The pitch. Fastball popped up foul, third base side out of play, and it's 0-1. After the lefty McKinstry, it's right-handed hitting Gleyber Torres on deck. And then Matt Vierling, a righty, is due up 3rd in this inning. The 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's in that spot, Vierling's spot in the lineup, where A.J. Hinch presumably could go to Kerry Carpenter off the bench, or Colt Keith, another left-handed hitter that is a Tigers regular. Here's the pitch. Changeup lifted down the right field line, hooking toward the corner. It drops in fair. Marte cuts it off quickly. McKinstry rounds first. He gets to second standing with a leadoff double. Shades of 2025 with Zach McKinstry. It seemed like every time the Tigers needed a big hit against the Royals last year, it was McKinstry who came through. And now it's McKinstry who puts himself in scoring position with nobody out in the bottom of the 8th. And he carries the potential tying run. Gleyber Torres steps to the plate now. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Royals infield plays him to pull. Mears delivers. Fastball high, and that's ball 1. The next pitch. Fastball head on the ground to the right side. India scoops it up, looks toward McKinstry, who took off for 3rd, now throws to first, his only play. Torres is out, but McKinstry moves up 90 feet. He's at 3rd base. And as expected, A.J. Hinch pinch hits for Matt Beerling. Colt Keith is the hitter, a lefty off the Tigers bench. And Royals pitching coach Brian Sweeney heads out of the mound to chat with Mears, Salvador Perez, and the rest of the Royals infield.
Well, that's a big time at bat by Torres to get that runner over to third with less than 2 outs. It seems so simple, seems so innocent, but that could be the play that ties the game, and you never know how a game's going to go after that. So let's see if Nick Mears can take care of a tough hitter here in Carpenter.
It is often the little things that provide the difference in games like these. Razor thin margins. Matt Quatrero talks about it often. And this is a matchup, Royals and Tigers. 10 of the last 11 games between the two last year decided by 2 runs or fewer. Now visit over, infield in. Colt Keith at the plate. The pitch. Low and outside, ball 1. Keith enters tonight hitting .340 this season. He's got 18 hits, 7 of them doubles. The pitch. Change up, line back up the middle. Witt dives and snares it. He grabbed it just in front of the second base bag. An incredible diving catch from Bobby Witt Jr. He puts on the Superman cape for the second time tonight. And that grab saved a run and keeps the Royals in front.
Like we said, a superhero. That's how he plays. It's amazing.
Just astounding. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. First pitch now to Kevin McGonigal. That's a changeup low, ball 1.
And the best thing, if you're on the other side, if you're on the Royals side, was to see Carpenter's reaction running up to first base, closing his eyes and putting his head, looking up into the sky and closing his eyes, thinking, what do I have to do? How did he get that?
The pitch. Just outside, 2 balls, no strikes. What makes it even more incredible is that the infield was playing in. That's even less time to react and make that diving attempt.
Off the bat, you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's a line drive right up the middle. We're going to be tied. And Bobby flies to it.
Mears delivers. Letter high changeup for a strike. And the count's now 2-1 on Kevin McGonigal. Now Witt's now playing back. So's the rest of the infield. Shaded to the right side against McGonigal, the lefty. He's 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. The pitch. In the dirt. Salvi knocks it away. Doesn't know where it is. Here comes McKinstry. He scores standing. And that ties the game at 1. A changeup in the dirt. It rolled to the first base side, just far enough away to give McKinstry a chance. He read it perfectly. And again, it's McKinstry in the right place at the right time, making the winning play. A leadoff double. He moves to third on a ground out to the right side, and he scores on a wild pitch. Brand new ball game. We're tied at 1. Mears delivers. That's high, and that's ball 4. So McGonigal draws a walk. A tough sequence of events for the Royals. Right after really new life thanks to Bobby Witt Jr.'s diving grab. First pitch to Dylan Dingler. That's a fastball high, ball 1. And Mears, whose command was admittedly shaky in his last outing when he entered and issued a bases loaded walk, is that shaky command so far tonight as well. 13 pitches, only 5 strikes. He delivers high again, and now it's 2-0. Now Mears has now issued at least 1 walk in 4 straight outings. And this from a pitcher for whom walks, at least last year, were a rarity. He delivers. Fastball laced toward third, skips past Garcia down the left field line toward the corner. McGonigal around second. He gets to third. Cora waves him around. Relay to the the plate. Witt fires. Garcia cuts it off. McGonigal dives in safely. It's an RBI double for Dylan Dingler. And the Royals, who entered this inning with a slim 1-0 lead, trail for the first time tonight, 2-1. A wild pitch helped the tying run come in. And then Nick Mears backed himself into a corner behind in the count, 2-0. He threw a fastball in a hittable spot, and Dingler did not miss. First pitch to Wenzel Perez. And there's a curveball in for a strike. It's 0-1.
It was a rocket at 107 to get by Garcia.
And with 2 outs, Kevin McGonigal was off at the crack of the bat. The pitch. Change-up flick foul down the left field line, out of play, 0-2.
Well, the Royals won back-to-back games 2-0 over the weekend. It's really hard to win a 2-0 game. It's even harder to win a 1-0 game. And now the Royals are going to have to score at least 3 tonight if they're going to win this one.
And again, razor thin margins. And in this inning, the Tigers have made every possible winning play. The pitch. Perez chops it to the right side. Pasquantino gloves, takes it to the bag himself. Perez is out, and the inning is over, but the damage is done. The Royals now trail 2-1. The Tigers scored 2 runs. Last chance for the Royals. They now trail 2-1. The Royals led 1-0 until the bottom of the 8th inning, where the Tigers produced 2 runs, and you tip your cap. Zach McKinstry had a leadoff double. He moved to third on a ground down to the right side. He scored the game-tying run on a wild pitch. And then after a 2-out walk, Kevin McGonigal scored from first on a Dylan Dingler RBI double. And now the Royals face future Hall of Fame closer Kenley Jansen. Lane Thomas leads off. First pitch from Jansen. Cutter swung on and missed, and it's 0-1. Jansen on Friday delivered a perfect 9th inning for the Tigers and earned the save, his 2nd of the season and the 478th of his career. He delivers over the outer edge, a called strike. 0-2, another cutter. Those 478 saves are tied for 3rd most all time with Hall of Famer Lee Smith. Here's the pitch. Thomas laces it back up the middle. Baez darts in from center. He has to play it on a bounce. A leadoff single for Lane Thomas. The Royals have the potential tying run on base. Now the Tigers did make a handful of defensive changes for this half inning. Colt Keith, who pinch hit, remains in the game and plays 3rd. Kevin McGonigal's now the shortstop, and Javier Baez is out in center field. Salvador Perez steps to the plate. 1 for 3 tonight. Right side of the infield wide open for him again. Jansen delivers. First pitch cutter inside, ball 1. Jansen is now 38 years old. Big league debut with the Dodgers in 2010. Spin and a throw to first, and Thomas dives back safely. He signed a 1-year deal with the Tigers for this season. There's also a team option for next year. Now Jansen is continuing to climb the save mountaintop toward 500. Here's the pitch. Thomas takes off. Cutter inside. Dingler's throw a little high. Thomas slides underneath the tag. He's safe at second with a steal. A crucial stolen base. Lane Thomas puts himself in scoring position. The Royals have been aggressive on the bases, and that was an aggressive steal. And now it's up to the Royals to do what the Tigers did. Manufacture a run. Come through with a runner in scoring position. The Royals trail 2-1, top of the 9th inning. Runner on second, nobody out. And Salvi who this year is 0 for 19 with runners in scoring position, has a chance to erase all of that. The pitch. Curveball nub, third base side. Keith charges onto the grass. He scoops, throws to first on target and in time. Salvi's out, but Thomas gets to third. It's a productive ground out. It almost identically mirrors what the Tigers did in the bottom of the 8th when they got a runner to second, albeit on a double, and then moved him to third on a ground out. Vinny Pasquantino steps to the plate. Runner on third, 1 out. The Tigers bring the infield in. Royals down 2-1, top of the 9th. The pitch. It's a cutter over the outer half, called strike 1. Now Jansen has blown a save this season. He has 2 saves in 3 tries. He blew a save against the Diamondbacks back at the tail end of March. Here's the pitch. Pasquantino fouls it straight back into the netting, and it's 0-2. He was right on it. 96-mile-an-hour sinker. Skies are dark in Detroit. Flags are still. Bated breath for everyone. There's a tension in the air here. The 0-2. Rolled to the right side. The second baseman McKinstry scoops it up, throws to first, 2 outs. No chance for Thomas to score. He was not going on contact. And had he gone on contact, he likely would have been thrown out at the plate. So Pasquantino fails to bring in the run. And it's up to Starling Marte. He's 1 for 3 tonight. A single, a fly out, and a ground out. The Royals got the runner to scoring position with nobody out. They got the runner to third with 1 out. Can they do what has felt impossible through the first 16 games and get that runner in? Pitching coach Chris Fetter comes out of the third base dugout to talk to Jansen and the catcher Dylan Dingler before facing Starling Marte. Marte has faced Jansen 5 times. He's 1 for 4. He's also been hit by a pitch once. Both teams have 4 hits. The Royals trail in the column that counts 2-1. Runner on third, 2 outs, top of the 9th in Detroit. Mound visit over. Starling Marte at the plate. Can he get the rock to the top of the hill? Jansen delivers. It's a cutter inside, ball 1. The Royals tonight are 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. They have stranded 4 on base. Here's the pitch. Letter high cutter called strike, 1-1. Jansen hesitated during his motion there. Messing with Marte's timing. Infield back for the Tigers. Shaded to the left side. McKinstry up the middle at second. The 1-1. Fastball swung on and missed, and it's 1-2. The Royals' lone run tonight came on a broken bat dribbler to the right side with the bases loaded. Now they need a hit, an actual hit. Jansen steps off the back of the rubber. Everybody is on their feet at Comerica Park. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Starling Marte. The 1-2. It's high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Marte thought about it. He triggered but didn't swing. He's now throwing 3 straight cutters from Kenley Jansen. As imposing a presence as it gets. Hands set near his ear. The 2-2. Up and away, ball 3. And so now the count is full. Jansen looks at the baseball. Steps back onto the third base side of the rubber. 6 feet 5 inches tall, 265. He sets near the ear. And now steps off the back of the rubber. That's his second disengagement. If he disengages again, that would be a balk, and it would bring in the tying run. Thomas streaks from third and stops. Jansen's ready. Payoff pitch. Marte hits it in the air, shallow center field. Baez streaks in. McKinstry back. Baez makes the grab on the move in shallow right center, and the ball game is over. The Royals got the potential tying run to scoring position with nobody out. Got Lane Thomas to third with 1 out, but failed to bring him in to tie the game and lose 2-1 to the Tigers to open the series at Comerica Park. For the Royals in the top of the 9th, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base, 1 left on base at third, 90 feet away. The Royals lose 2-1. We're back to Detroit right after this.
Are you a healthcare worker? Then you can pay half price for the
Grand Slam!
Are you an educator? Get 50% off.
Got him!
Are you over 60? Get
Wow!
for half price. Before you go to the K, go to the Royals Fan Value Corner and see how easy it is to save 50% on
Dives and he caught it!
and so much more.
That's what I'm saying.
Visit Royals.com/fanvalue.